Welcome to my channel Cubotics. Today we're going to be doing a project on ping pong ball. This is a three series event where I'm going to be making three videos on this because the first video is going to consist of making the ping pong ball game. Then in the second video we'll add in another player or a computer that we could play against. And the third level we'll add levels to it, so difficulty level. So I'm going to split this video into three levels. So let's start with the first level, the first video today is we're going to start. You can see I've already opened up Scratch programming. I'm ready to start on, and I've deleted the Scratch, and I'm going to go choose a sprite, and I'm going to search here, and I'm going to search the paddle because the first thing we need for our game is the paddle. Now the first thing you like to do is make your paddle go left and right. Now how do you do that? It's quite simple. Go to events, take a when flag clicked, then go to control and take a if then statement. Okay, now you need to remember to fill up both these slots between if and then, and because this is a conditional statement. So go to sensing and take key space press the down arrow and take right arrow. So this is the right arrow on my keyboard. Now what happens when I press the right arrow? I would like my paddle to go on the right. So it's a movement block because I need the paddle to go on the right. So it's go to motion block and take a change x by 10 and put a forever. Now what happens when you press the green flag? You can see that when I press the right arrow on my keyboard, the paddle moves to the right. Now similarly, I want to also make it go to the left, right? So it's quite easy. What you could do is just take your mouse here, right click, and you'll get a duplicate command. Duplicate this and take this down. Now as you can see that I have two similar looking codes. Both are right arrow, right arrow. So the first thing you want to make this is a left arrow. Okay, and if you play this, you can see that it yet won't work for the simple fact this is change x by 10 and this is also change x by 10. Now what you need to do is make this minus 10. Why minus? Because whenever you want to go to the left side, remember always it's a negative sign. When you want to go to the right side, it's a positive sign. I'm going to stop and see. Now when I'm pressing left, I go left. When I press right, now this I'm doing with my keyboard. You guys can try this too. Okay, now the second thing that you want to do is you want to add in a ball. So let's go and choose a sprite. I'm choosing this ball sprite. Okay, you can go to costumes and you can see that we have so many colors to choose from. So I'm going to just pick up the blue color for the time being, and I'm going to put it on the top here. Now what I would like to do is for the ball to start from the top here and fall down. Okay, that's the first step I would like to do, like the ball is falling or bouncing towards us. So take a when flag clicked. Okay, now first always guys put the ball position where you want to start, then go to motion and take the go to from here. The position automatically guys can come here. If you can see x is 8 and y is 153, this automatically auto populates. You don't have to figure it out. Okay, Scratch does this for us. Whichever position you move the ball to, the position automatically comes here. Then I need to put a forever and I need to move 10 steps. Now let's have a look what happens when we press the green flag button. As you can see that the ball starts from the center and moves towards the right. But I want the ball to come downwards. So what we can do is use a point in direction. And when you click on this, you can see a little arrow comes here. You can actually hold your mouse and control it wherever direction you want to. So since I wanted to come down, I am going to put point in direction 180, and you guys will be able to see that the ball will now start from the center with the position and it'll point down and it'll fall down there. Every time you press this, it falls down. Now what I wanted to do is when it falls down, I wanted to bounce off the edges, right? You can see that we have four edges on the top, right, left and bottom. These are the edges or the backdrop of our Scratch programming. So let's go. How do we do that? Press stop first. Go to the motion block and we have something called if on edge bounce. So whenever it touches an edge, it will bounce. Let's check it out. Yeah, you can see this bounces. So just to see that it bounces on all edges, you can actually turn this a little and make it maybe 165 and see what happens. It'll come on an angle. It'll bounce off all the edges. So at least I got my ball now bouncing. Now, what is the second thing I would like to do is, obviously, like if you play this game and you can see that it bounces off the edges, but it doesn't actually bounce off the paddle. Look, my paddle is not yet working because have to write the program for this. So everything in Scratch is done step by step. Okay, so let's write the program for the ball to bounce off the paddle. So take another when flag click. Okay, I'm yet going to write this code in the ball sprite because the ball is going to do the work, right? When the ball touches the paddle, the ball is going to bounce off. So I'm going to write this code in the ball sprite. Take another if then statement and go to sensing and take a touching mouse pointer. And here you have a down arrow, click it and you can see I have paddle. So what I have a condition here, if touching paddle means if the ball touches the paddle, what I want the ball to do, I want it to bounce back away, right? It'll come down, if it touches the paddle to bounce. So it's very simple, you go to motion and take a turn 15 degree and make this 180 degrees. And don't forget guys to always put up forever because the computer always needs to keep checking that are you touching the ball. So you can see here, whenever I touch the ball, it turns 180 degrees, means it does like a U-turn and bounces back up. So now I've got a basic game going for myself. This is a basic ping pong ball game. It works fine, it has no issue. But yes, there is one problem, as you can see that it's repeating because it does the same thing again and again. Look, I don't have to do much. You can see the ball goes to the same position, touches. Means what I'm trying to say is if I touch on either side of the paddle, if I touch on the right hand side of the paddle, I touch on the left hand side of the paddle or the center of the paddle, the ball actually does the same thing. Now, why is that? The ball doesn't understand on which side of the paddle it is touching. For the ball, the paddle is one sprite. So, whenever it touches the sprite, it does the same thing. So, we can kind of make this game better and I'm going to show you how to do that. Okay. So, just follow along with me. So, what I'm going to do is first going to make a center point for this paddle. Okay. So, how do you do that is let's choose another ball. Okay. You can see I've chosen a yellow color ball. I'm just showing you a different color ball so you guys understand. Okay, and this one is called ball here and this second one is called ball 2. Now what you're going to do is take a when flag clicked in this yellow color ball and first set the size maybe to 20%. I hope you guys can see the ball has become small because I've reduced the from 100 I made it 20. Now the second thing you do, hold the ball with your mouse and place it at the center of your paddle. Okay, now this is the reason I'm doing this is to give my paddle like a center point. It's a reference. Now, when this ball touches on this side of the paddle, it will know that it is on the left side of the paddle. Similarly, when it touches on this side of the paddle, it will know it's on the right side of the paddle. And when it touches on the top of the ball, it will know it is touching the center of the paddle. So this ball is acting nothing like a center for the paddle. Okay, and what do? You take a forever. Okay, because obviously we want the small yellow ball to go wherever the paddle goes in. Forever, and you just say go to put inside the forever paddle. So just to show you guys, wherever my ball goes in, my paddle goes, my small yellow ball always stays within the same place inside the paddle. Okay. Now what I would like to do is go back to the blue ball, yeah, where we had written the original code and just put here point towards ball 2. Now what this will help me do is it'll actually help me make an angle with the yellow ball. I'm going to play the game and then I'm going to explain it to you. So as you can see, if I hit on the left hand side, the ball goes towards the left. If I try hitting it somewhere towards the center, the ball will go up. I'll hit on the right. It goes. Now I have a lot better control over the game if I do this. You can see I can actually manipulate and I can control the ball to go in the direction that I want to, like an actual ping pong ball game. Okay, now why this happens is because when the ball comes, what have we written here? We've written point towards ball 2. So just to give you an example, if the ball is coming from this direction, right, and it hits here. So it says point towards ball 2. The ball 2 is making this angle. So it actually goes back on the angle of the ball 2. If you come straight, the ball 2 is pointing up, so the ball will go back up. If you come in from the left hand side, now the ball is pointing towards this ball 2, so it again will go back. So depending on which side of the paddle you hit, it actually will give you control on the ball. Look at this. Yeah. So this is quite an easy way and an effective way of doing this. Okay. So now we've got our paddle working and we got the ball working. Now, so let's hide this ball, right? Because we really don't need to see it within the paddle. So a very simple way is you can just go to look, okay, and take set color and use ghost and put 99. Now what happened? This will make it a ghost. Ghost means it'll make it invisible. But don't make it 100 because 100 what happened? It disappeared. 99 we can't see it but it's yet there. So that's a more effective way of doing it. You can see that you can't see the yellow ball inside. It's actually yet there because but it's kind of like a ghost. So we can't see it but it's there. So this is a really cool thing given by Scratch to use it. Whenever you press the stop button, you can see it'll come back. Whenever I press the green flag button, it's gone because the command execute. Okay, let's also go choose a backdrop for this game. Let's go to space. You can choose a nice backdrop like a neon tunnel, so it gives a little cool effect to the, yeah, you can see. Okay, now what is the next thing that I would like to do for this game? I would like to keep a score. Okay, maybe I would like to know how, what kind of points am I getting, how many times have I hit the ball, and I keep a track of the score for that. So it's a very simple way of doing that. Just go to variables here on the left hand side, click on that, and you have an option called your make a variable. So you can write any name that you understand. You can write points, you can write score, whatever. I'm going to write with points. Okay. And you can see that the minute I do that, this automatically comes up here. Okay. So my points are currently 0. Now let's go back to the ball sprite, the blue color. And the first thing, always, whenever you start a game, please set the variable to 0. So set my variable, press the down arrow here, points to 0. Now why we do this is whenever you press the green flag button, this one, the start button, the points will reset to 0. So it's like similarly when you guys play a game, right? Every time you start a game, the game starts from 0. Yes, and then you collect. We don't want it starting from the previous score the other player had made or that you had made. So always set the points and don't put it in a forever, because if you put it in a forever, it'll keep setting it back to 0. So you can see I've set the points to 0, but it's outside the forever. Now, where am I going to increase the score, right? Every time this ball touches the paddle, I want to increase the score. So it's here, right? If touching paddle, point towards ball to turn 180 degree. So here is where you take this change points by 1, right? Because this is where it touches the paddle. So only if you touch the paddle will it point towards ball 2, it'll turn around, plus it'll change the point by 1. So let's check this out. Here you can see. So that's my score 2. So whenever I touch the ball with the paddle, my score will increase by 1. 4. Yeah, and so far the game works 5. Yeah. Now a lot of students ask me, so how do I control the speed of the game, right? So this is something you guys should think about. How do I, like, if you find it really tough, you find the speed a lot, then how do we change the speed? So right now I'm going to show you an easy method, but in the coming tutorials I'm going to choose you where you can choose a level and the speed of the ball will automatically get adjusted. So this is where you adjust the speed of the ball. So the higher the number, just to give you an example, the faster the ball. So let me show you. I made it from 10 to 15 and you can see that the ball is a lot faster here. So depending completely on your skill level, you can increase or decrease the speed of the ball. Just to show you, if I make this 5 and I'm going back and playing it, you'll see that the speed of the ball has reduced. So this is quite an easy way of changing the speed of the ball. Okay, and obviously the last thing that we like to do is have a game over, so in case you like miss the ball, right? The ball falls down, you didn't hit the ball, the game should get over. So what we're going to go is we're going to go choose another sprite and we can select a line, a red color line that's already there in our database, in our library. Hold this with your mouse and take it down. So you just do this little slowly because sometimes, yeah, and then you can move your paddle a little up. Yep. So now that's working fine. Okay, now you can see the line here. So now let's go to the line sprite. You can see it's empty, and you can make out that I'm in the line sprite because on your screen also you see a little line sprite. So take a when flag click. Uh, Take a if then, because again I'm going to do a control. I'm doing a condition check. What is my condition? I'm checking if the ball touches the line. If the ball touches the line, my game should stop, right? So I have a if then. So I'm going to do a sensing here. I'm going to take a touching mouse pointer, and I'm going to put, right, what should I select here? Ball. Why? Because I'm in a line sprite. It doesn't matter if the line touches the ball or the ball touches the line, right? As long as they touch each other, the game should stop. So I go to control, and I have something called stop all, and don't forget to put a forever. I'll make it big screen just to show you guys. So you can see my game working fine right now, but just in case, let's say the player misses the ball, it touches the line and the game's over. The game stops, and that's his score, point 1. Now similarly, what you can do is, again, if you don't want this line to be seen, you can go to looks and you can take a set color effect to 0, press the down arrow, ghost, and make this 99. Yeah. So just to show you, when you press play, yeah, the line is not there when you're playing the game, right? So the player, whoever's playing, doesn't know that there's a line, but the minute he touches the line, it appears and the game's over. So this was the first part of the video. In the second video, I'm going to show you how we can better this game. We're going to make this a two-player game because now I'm going to show you a method where you can actually play this game with the computer. It's a lot of fun. Stay tuned. I'll come back really soon and show you how to do that as well. If you guys like the video, just subscribe to it, like it, and or leave a comment if you students have tried it out. Let me know what you guys thought about it. Was it easy for you? Do you want any changes made in it? If you could, did you add your own ideas? I'd love for you to share it as well. Okay, and whenever you're done with your Scratch project, you can just click on the share button here. So when you click on share, you can see, put in your name, whatever you can call it, Ping Pong Game. You can add instructions for the players, to whoever is playing it. You can say use the arrow keys to move the paddle, right? Also, and then we get 1 point for touching the ball each time. In case the ball touches the base, the game gets over. So this is really nice. In case you want to share your project with someone, once you press share, you can even copy the link. You copy the link. You can go to your email. You can compose an email. You can write it to whoever you want. For example, I'll just write it to myself. Just to show you, I've written it to myself and I've written Ping Pong Game here. And since I copied, I'm going to right click and just paste here. So you can see that the project link has come here and you send it. Okay, so whoever you send it to, all they need to do is just click this link and then they can play your game as well. Yeah, so it's a really fun way of doing that. You can share this project with your friends, your family, your distant relative. Make this game, just share it with them. All they need is a laptop or a desktop to play this game. They just click it and they're ready to play this game. I hope you like this video, guys. And I'll come out soon with the next one. Thank you. Bye-bye.